I'm going to explain what it means to partake of life in God through Christ and their Spirit versus partaking of the knowledge of good and bad. An example. If somebody comes to me and they're telling me about a problem that they have or how hard life is, and I listen, and I can respond in any number of ways. I can respond with advice. I can respond with solutions. I can respond with just caring and compassion, or just listening. I can try to help. There's any number of ways that I can respond. And I can do those things from one of two positions. I can do those things connected to the spirit of life in God, in Christ, in which are all, in which is infinite wisdom, infinite goodness, infinite numbers of solutions, infinite peace, infinite comfort, infinite creativity, infinite life. In which case, God's life will be brought, God's life will help that person in all of its infinite fullness. Not me. All of God's life in its infinite love and care. And He will help them. Versus, if I respond and I do those same things, the same actions that I mentioned earlier, but I am not listening to Christ or to God. I'm not relying on them. I'm not trusting them. And I'm only relying on the knowledge of good that I have. If I'm only relying on knowledge, then there's no true life in it, except for what I can think of and what I can come up with on my own. And the difference between me and God is infinite. God is the infinite creator and sustainer of all life. He is infinite in goodness, love, peace, creativity, solutions, power, wisdom, knowledge, all of it. And there's nothing bad in it all. And I am a part of his creation. I am one of his creations. And if I'm not listening to him and not connected to him, then all I have is knowledge. Knowledge of good and bad. Which can help people to a degree. Which we all know. Knowledge of good helps people to a degree. But it ultimately, apart from God, and apart from Christ, and apart from their Spirit, doesn't have the life of God in it. It doesn't have the infinite solutions, the infinite peace, the infinite goodness, the infinite creativity, the infinite love that people so need. It may help some, and it's better than not caring at all. So, it's better than some alternatives. But the best thing is, of course, to be living from God and from His life in Christ. That is a very practical example of living from the tree of life, of finding spiritual and soulish and mental and emotional sustenance in the life of God, the life of Christ, instead of finding spiritual, mental, and soulish sustenance in the knowledge of good and bad.